Hey guys, thank you for joining us. We are Words Are Tough. My name is Jose Rodriguez, and I'm here with my co-host
David Diokendo.
And after another little hiatus, when we were supposed to hit the ground running, more unexpected life things have happened.
You hit a wall.
But we're back, and we're back, and just like riding a bike, we're jumping right back on and pedaling away.
Like you fell down and got back up, like I got this, and just fall back down. Like, oh, I don't. Yeah. Oh no.
My chain popped and I flipped over forward.
Ever seen that one meme where there's a guy riding a bike and he sticks a stick into his tire and he falls? I'm not saying us not recording is our fault. It's just circumstantial, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you want to be as transparent or opaque or translucent?
No, yeah. Yeah, before another break, I had gotten COVID in the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And then since then, we did our filming. And then after that, I got sick again. And, just to be safe, and we had precautions, we kept it apart. Yeah, my girl got me sick. That seems to be a theme now. So
yeah, I think it's like the third episode in a row.
Yep.
Or fourth. I forget.
It's all her fault. She's the metaphorical stick in the tire.
Yeah, cog in the gears.
Yeah,
in a way, but it's good and it's bad. It's good to have lots of space in between episodes or between recordings because there's a lot to talk about. It's bad because so much happens. I forget to the point when we record something, it's like, oh, but that happened like such a long time ago.
Yeah.
And again, I forget, oh yeah, we're not the news. This is not a news podcast or current events. This is more just like two people sharing what they do.
Yeah, although it would be nice for us to post a video and it would light up the search engine optimization and we'd get some, ride off of that.
Yeah.
But, we definitely want the videos to be more, I would say, a higher output than we have this year so far. But we'll see how it goes through the spring. It's gonna get nicer out, and I'm not gonna say the word, but the pandy. Yeah, the pandy's finally going away. Hopefully. So, yeah, I know we wanted to since we have been away for so far, we wanted to talk about a lot of the current stuff that's been going on and some
updates.
So like you said, some has passed a little bit, but we want to put our our stamp on it, what we think.
2 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, when it comes to just relationship, I hate to say celebrity, but celebrity relationship, that's been a common theme past 2-3 months between Kanye and Kim and Will Smith and Jada and Chris Rock, and then also the whole, as of right now, I think we're a week into Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
That's been rough.
Yeah, that's so much that's so much to unpack. But I will say this, and this because I've actually been on dates with moms in the past, single moms. Never ever. This is to Pete Davidson. Who probably never, who definitely does not listen to this podcast. Don't date a married woman. What are you doing? And this is, I don't know. I want to I feel like saying who raised you, but that's a big, in my book, which only applies to me, obviously. Don't date a woman that's married, that's in the process of divorcing with kids. Why are you going to get involved in that?
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a gossip podcast, but I don't know. That's my first reaction. Everyone's having their when two people with kids, when a couple has kids, you don't want to get into that kerfuffle. It's why? I mean, I don't know. If I was single and Kim Kardashian called me, I'd be get divorced first. Figure that out, and then maybe. But I don't know. I just feel why put yourself in that position where you can't really win? Why rock? So our first sponsor is Nbox. Give your home-based business its own mailroom. View your open and scan mail from an encrypted app. Have it forwarded, held for pickup, or shredded and recycled. We'll even include a commercial business address to protect your privacy. Visit www.nboxdelivers.com to see more.
And for our next sponsor, we have Premier Rank Marketing. They can help you out if you have a business, whether it's selling stuff online or you have a brick and mortar location, restaurants, gyms. The company's helped so many people during the pandemic grow their online presence. So if you need any help from social media to Facebook targeting campaigns, Google, LinkedIn, and all the other, even TikTok, they do TikTok ads. Just reach out to Premier Rank Marketing and let them know that WordsrTough sent you, and they'll hook you up with a huge discount. Our third sponsor here, we have Worldwide Solutions, located in Clifton. They do taxes, travel, and insurance. Any type of business needs you have, they can even give you a good direction to go if you need some payroll services, things like that. And definitely check them out. Their info is right below. And our fourth sponsor is Rick's Barbershop in Garfield, New Jersey. If you have a important date coming up, you're going to a wedding, things like that, you're going to be photographed, definitely check them out. They're the most precise barbers in the area, and they'll definitely hook you up if you tell them WordsrTough sent you. Jose and David just mention those names, and they'll be like, no problem, right away. We'll hook you up. We just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and back to the show.
The boat even more.
Yeah,
and he's Kanye West.
Yeah,
he's not stable.
Yeah, I think it takes a special person to fill those roles, and then it takes another type of special person to like just not care that he's doing that and be so like spaced out about it. That
yeah,
like he's not thinking about it. He's like getting their names tattooed on himself and the kids' names.
Like didn't he like text Kanye? He's like, yeah, I'm with your woman in a picture of him like shirtless. It's like, and then later on in that text chain, it's all public at one point. I don't know if it still is. And then he says, "Oh, well, I'll help you. I can help you out, man. Like I suffer from like mental stuff too." It's like, but you just started with like, I'm banging your wife, which is
And you know what? When it comes to that specific part of their, I guess I don't know what to call it, but
relationship.
I think Kanye had been like ripping on him for months, so he kind of was like,
he wanted to do a little dig.
He kind of like when like you have to stand up to the bully, and like
I guess
that was kind of his like punch back or something, but yeah, it's definitely like really low of him to do that.
I mean, I'm not saying Kanye's above reproach in any way, but like that was just like, but like I don't know, I wouldn't put myself in that situation. It's just,
you're opening yourself up to like if he's mentally unstable, who knows what would happen, like
I mean, for just I guess advice to young guys, like don't put yourself in that. And not only that, there's also children involved, and you don't want to be that guy that makes their life miserable. I don't know. I mean, overall, like, remember that video where Kim and her family, they're like, I have advice for women, like, they don't want to work or something like that. You ever seen that video?
No.
You might have to pause it just for you to see.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, where
you know what? I did because
they're like one of them is sitting, one of them is standing. They're like this. I guess they're just promoting.
She gets like really fired up, right?
Yeah, and just like women don't want to work, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I think
maybe in her circles.
I think she meant like to get to her level as a celebrity, and then she just like sounded dumb, like thinking like applying it with a broad brush. You always get in trouble when you apply stuff with like a broad brush.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. Because, when you break it down, what she did to get famous, it's like, I
mean, of course, you need to work hard. I think my critique with that is if you want to show people that you're a hard worker, then show people you're a hard worker. Don't just show pictures of you being on the beach and you having a photo shoot, et cetera, et cetera. Not saying that you want to create like a fake work environment, take pictures but like legit, like if you're a hard worker, then show that. If you're always showing pictures of you being lounging at your pool and this and that, like people just think, oh, you just have everything handed to you, which I mean, let's be honest, she kind of started in third base.
Yeah, no, she's one of those. Yeah, her best friend was Paris Hilton. I mean, you can't be that far off from.
Yeah, her dad was a very, very, very well known and successful lawyer before his passing. But like, I mean, he got OJ off, so
yeah, he pulled off the miracle.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts on, like, would you ever put yourself in that situation, just hypothetically, if
that whole family just loves helping athletes? By the way, I'm just saying,
they sure like the melanin.
Yeah. What was your question? I'm sorry.
If you're like a Pete Davidson's shoes, like, would you pursue a relationship with Kim Kardashian knowing she's still?
You know what? I'm totally a hypocrite because absolutely I would because I'm just over here at Long Island Pete Davidson. I gotta bring myself up. I mean, he was already on a good course. He had a lot of good things going for him. His movie roles have been accepted. I like the guy as a comedian himself. I didn't like him at first because I thought he was like a poor man's Jimmy Fallon. But
okay, I see that.
But I think he's made a lot of good choices. And it takes... Ben Stiller said something that really stuck in my mind, like that he's kind of got this thing where, like, he's really likable.
I think so.
It's hard to maintain that. Yeah. And it's a lot of pressure to keep it going for a long time.
By the way, I don't dislike Pete Davidson, if you're wondering that. I'm just saying, like I say, I critique the things that I like.
Yeah, and you could still be a really likable person and make some shitty decisions. You
can maybe wait a month or 2 or 3. Let them get divorced first, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's just excited, and he doesn't know how to handle it. I remember when a few years back there was a person who will not be named from Garfield that was talking to Kim Kardashian, and he brought her to Rose's Pizza.
Oh, okay. I know him. Well, I went to school with this individual, and he's good. I mean, why are you?
Shout out to the Boilermakers.
Why are you not mentioning his name? By the way,
okay. He went to school there. Who knows? Like what's
no?
What's
I mean,
known,
honest, to be honest, he probably does it. Like he's like, who the hell are these guys?
Love to hear that again. Like I don't
know. Who the hell are these guys talking about me, saying that they know me?
Saying they know me.
Like I don't know them. Like.
Hey, I think anytime you get reattached to the Kim Kardashian name, you. But
she, I mean, this is not. I'm not shaming anyone, but she has dated a lot of guys, so it's. I'm sure she could do the whole Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm sure you can do 7 degrees of Kim Kardashian. Like I'm certain that someone that knows someone that's dated her. Yes. And this is not a knock on her. This is just kind of like. An observation. I'm not judging her in any way. But speaking of Kanye, have you seen Genius? Or
I have not
Genius.
The documentary.
JEEN.
I saw parts of it, but I didn't give it my full attention, front to back. Like I watched documentaries like The Staircase, but I don't know if you've seen that.
The Staircase. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
That one, I watched, those crime documentaries, you really pay attention. Mm-hmm. But Genius, I put it on and I was doing work and putting.
You were listening, but not. I mean, I guess the visuals are important, but I will say this: the first 2 episodes, there's 3 episodes. I guess it's a trilogy, are actually really good. The 3rd episode is kind of more of a tabloid episode. It's just an hour and a half or an hour, I don't know, some change of just wrapping up what happened in the past since the whole who did he Taylor Swift thing, since the Taylor Swift issue to now. That's episode 3, which everyone pretty much knows about. But what I like about the first 2 episodes is the fact that you would think a black run business, like Rockefeller, they'll be accepting to anyone, and they pretty much limited Kanye to just being a beats guy, just a producer.
Yeah.
And they legit dismissed him, yeah, shut up. Just make my beats. These are even a few guys that on film would say yo, just make my beats and shut up. I'm dang, that's messed up. And obviously hindsight is 20/20, but and they signed him as a rapper in quotes, but they didn't give him even studio time. Imagine getting, making it to a record label that with all these established names like Jay-Z, but they don't even give you studio time. He actually I think he recorded most of it in Newark, And I think there's scenes of him.
To Newark.
I've been working there since I don't know how long.
What did they call
went
it?
to school.
Brick City?
Brick City.
Yeah, Brick City.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of bricks, but my wife is from there. My wife is so Newark, but because she's so like soft spoken and like people wouldn't think that she's from Newark, but like
the Ironbound.
Yeah, Ironbound.
Nice.
Which is Newark, by the way.
Yeah.
For those critiquing, that's not. It's Newark.
Oh, that's a thing. That's an argument.
Yeah, like that's Ironbound. It's not really Newark. There's that like that's like a thing.
That's what makes Newark.
Yeah, it's super diverse, but like with Kanye, I can see why he's always pushing back. Like don't tell me I can't do something, because from the get-go, based on the documentary again, from the get-go, everyone's telling him you're not a rapper, you're just a producer, you just make beats. And then like he's a rapper, and then you're like, you're not a shoe designer, you're just a musician, like with Nike. And even Nike didn't want to, he left Nike because they wouldn't give him like proceeds or like a percentage, which is crazy. And then into the fashion world, and like you're not a fashion designer, you're just like a rapper. Like I'm censoring myself because he uses a bit more vulgar language, but you get what I'm saying. But it's like you would think, oh, that's why he has like this chip on his shoulder, like even though he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and oh, this is why, because every step of the way he's been told you can't do that. And not having any help, and you would think people would help him out, but I would say this though, like it's for it being like this, I don't like saying low budget, but like not being this like big studio project, and it being like years, like since 98, 99 to like a few years ago. There's a train again, Boilermakers. Like I lost my train of thought. No pun intended.
Low budget.
Yeah, it being such a like low budget, like it's a pretty well made documentary, and I like the fact that the guy that made it, I guess his alias is Cootie. Like he kind of like juxtaposes his, I guess, evolution or growth in that while watching Kanye grow, which is pretty cool, I think. But I'll admit though, third episode, kind of not. I won't say garbage, but not the best. It seemed like it was kind of put together just to get it out, And the first two episodes seemed like really well done, but I don't know. It's good. I don't know. I recommend you watching it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's on my list to finish and like rewatch, like with a really not a project going on at the same time.
Yeah.
But I guess this is a good way to transition to. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth, because he kind of had a Kanye moment, right?
Oh, Will Smith?
Yeah, I know. We wanted to. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about in an episode when we had to reschedule. That we thought,
right?
Like, that's a little bit far away now, but
yeah,
yeah. What do you think about all that situation? Like, I feel like
Will Smith needs Jesus.
I feel like after it happened, it was the worst thing to happen for Jada. Like, she should have just taken the L on the joke and because
I don't know. It's it's bizarre, and I'm not knocking her condition in any way, but I remember specifically seeing a Twitter video of hers like saying that it's her, I guess, obstacle to get over and to work through, and she's at a stage in her life where she can just laugh about it, something like that. And don't quote me on this, but she says something of that nature. So you would think if if someone were to from my understanding, a family friend, that's basically what I understand, that the Chris Rock is a family friend. Maybe he was, not anymore, I don't think, but you would think, oh, he obviously means light of it. And not only that, G.I. Jane is awesome. Who doesn't like G.I. Jane? That movie was great. I would love to see a second G.I. Jane, but yeah, it wasn't like he called her like Miss Piggy or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like who I can see why. I mean, even though I think Miss Piggy is an awesome character, she is.
We're not Miss Piggy shaming here.
No, I'm just saying like. The person that he compared her to is like a very strong, independent like woman.
She could have parlayed this into actual movie role.
She could have made it a great opportunity.
Could have been great.
So if I don't know, if he actually insulted her, like, you know, like an actual insult. He wasn't insulting. He was saying a joke, and there's a difference between insults and jokes. I think. Of course, at the end of the day, is how you take it, not so much how people deliver it, I guess. But I mean, you got into or tried to get into comedy, or are you still trying to get into comedy?
Yeah, you know, it's been a little rough since I got sick. Yeah, and then you know, I was trying to, you know, navigate those waters. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go to more open mics. I went to a few shows. You know, like. I wouldn't say like I went to network, but you know, you meet people.
You just hang out. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I was taking some pictures for them. But yeah, I'm planning on definitely continuing that.
Like, do you think does a comedian have sovereignty over his jokes? Like, you know, does his or her intent matter when they say a joke, or it's like no, once you say a joke, it doesn't matter what you intended. If the person takes it as an offense, it's offensive. No,
yeah, I think they definitely, you know, you're presenting it as a joke. So, you know, it's like kind of that saying, like, you know, don't you know how to take a joke, you know, like kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
like I felt the exact,
matters.
yeah, I felt the exact same feeling when he was like, you're gonna react like that over G.I. Jane, like, you know, like that.
It was a very, I don't know. I know this is a very old issue. There's other people that have their relationship issues, but like. Yeah, I just felt like the joke was so tame, and I legit thought, oh, that's black on black crime. There you go. And I feel like for Chris Rock, and not only that, knowing or understanding Chris Rock's, like, I guess, history, but he's very open about him being bullied as a kid. Mm-hmm. Even on the show, he talks about the show is literally just a biography. And he's even open about his, like, learning disability. So it wasn't like he came from a place of, like, I'm so much better than you. Like, he was raised with, and still struggles with learning disability. So he wasn't really even punching down. Like, he wasn't even really punching. He you know?
Honestly, my initial thought was this was staged.
That's first. I thought that too.
And then I thought that it was just such a huge reaction and things were spiraling out of control that they were like, we can't say this was staged now. You know, like
it could be that.
That's what I immediately thought, because the way he got,
or could have, yeah.
The way Chris took the slap,
took it pretty good.
Yeah, like he took it, but he also, like, if someone comes up at you, like, you're immediately like. He actually accepted it.
He kind of leaned in,
embraced it. You know, like, yeah, he like embraced it. Like, I don't care if you're not hitting me or punching me. Still, though, if you're coming up at me, like, you know, you're gonna like kind of like brace yourself,
lean
like,
back
naturally.
a little bit. You know, put your elbow up. Yeah, I don't know.
Stick your hand out, something, like, you know, be like, whoa, I was just kidding, or something.
Or, you know, like do like something like, you know. No, he had his hands behind his back, I think, the whole time.
Yeah, and I know though another thing though that's you just made me think. He has that. I think, like, really bad arthritis in his hands. Do you know
Chris
that?
Rock?
Yeah.
I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and his, like, hands are, like, kind of like always in this, like, kind of like close position. So he does hide it a lot. So maybe that had something to do with it.
I don't know. All I know is that, like, it
gets more complex as more you talk about it.
It's very much. In all seriousness, I actually feel bad for Will Smith. Like for something that, I guess, small to trigger you like that, there's a lot of stuff there. I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but there's a lot of stuff there that you gotta figure out. Like,
yeah,
you know, and that whole, your relationship with your wife is yours, but, you know, but then again, she does have her show called The Red Table, where she pretty much says everything. Yeah. I don't watch it. I know I've seen, like, her entanglement episode where she talked about having an entanglement.
Yeah, that was honestly hilarious when I first heard that, and that was
everyone's saying I wasn't cheating on you, I just had an entanglement. But I just feel like if you put your stuff out there so much, people are gonna criticize it. They're not gonna agree with you, and that's okay. Even with this podcast, I have a fan member or two that are like, I don't like that you said that. I'm like, okay, like I apologize, but it was not meant to make fun of you or anything. I was just telling the story of, like, how I viewed it or perceived it. But yeah, I think that family needs just help, and, I think Will Smith should have slapped somebody else named what's his name again? August something, the person that had an entanglement with his wife.
Oh yeah.
Like you should slap that guy, not Chris Rock.
Yep. See, this why this story is so like
layered. It's very layered. You know,
I could segue to anything we wanted to talk about from the story. Like, like I'm having an entanglement with not wanting to work out recently this year. We can go to the trial that we want to talk about. That we don't want to see Will Smith and Jada go down that road. Like,
or do we?
Oh.
Like, yeah. I mean, there's that one video that happened recently of Jada recording Will, like with her phone, and she's asking him questions, and he's like, "Don't record me. This like, don't do that. Like, don't just come up here and ask me questions. Record me." I think he said something like, "My social media presence is my bread and butter. Like, this is like how I make money." Because he has a YouTube page and everything, and it gets a good amount of traction. And she just completely ignored him. Like, this is what I gotta deal with. I'm like, but he's the provider, from my understanding. I'm not saying she doesn't make money, but like, when was the last blockbuster film Jada Pinkett Smith was in? I don't know. Like,
oh yeah,
I
don't know either.
I'm pretty sure he's making the money. I'm not saying if you make the money, you make the rules, but like, hey, like, respect the guy. Like, if he says something, like, let it. If it was reversed, I don't think that would have been acceptable. I mean, I don't think it's acceptable either way, but, she kind of just dismissed him. Like, look at all this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't want to say something that is too, I guess, I don't know how it could be perceived, but maybe he should check his, should go do some nice, like, TRT therapy or something. He might be, just something might be off, that where he's like getting pushed over all the time.
Yeah, I think as of this recording, I think he did go to some sort of like therapist.
Yeah, and he went to Thailand,
like an inpatient therapist. Like, he's like, I need to take this time. He did the whole Dave Chapelle, I'm going to Africa thing.
Yeah,
which I respect. I'm not even. You gotta help yourself. Yeah,
and Dave Chapelle himself is dodging he got
tackled
his own attacks, but this one was a real attack. This one was like, it wasn't a slap from a friend.
Well, that guy had a weapon.
He did have a weapon. I don't know a lot of the details.
So just in case you guys, okay, so this is another segue. So another black guy got hit by another black guy. So Dave Chapelle, I think a few nights ago, actually got attacked on stage. Well, he finishes his hour or something, or 45 minutes. And when he was introducing somebody else, then a person got up on stage on his like right side, and the guy just attempted to tackle him, and he kind of stumbled back. But the guy had like this, it looked like a gun, but when he pressed the trigger, a knife flipped up, which is so silly. Like, why just get a knife?
Yeah.
Don't have a knife that looks like a gun. Just have a knife. Anyway, thank God he didn't use that gun or said knife. But the pictures afterwards, they messed that guy up. I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
Like, his arm was bent this way. He got pummeled pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for the guy.
And I heard Dave Chapelle was laughing about it the next day, because he said that Jamie Foxx was one of the people that jumped on stage to help him. But he jumped on, and he happened to be wearing a cowboy hat that day.
He was like, Jamie, where did he go?
Yeah, Jamie
Foxx. They chased him in the back. The guy ran away, and they just chased him in the back. And I think they legit were just pummeling him.
Yeah, it was Jamie Foxx and Busta Rhymes amongst those two people. Busta Rhymes is a big guy.
What an idiot.
I know.
Not Busta Rhymes, the attacker. Like, why?
Yeah,
like,
he deserves both.
Busta Rhymes
is
huge.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes is humongous. Yeah,
he's not like Shaq huge, but he's a tall, pretty jacked.
Yeah. He's
not bodybuilder jacked, but he works out.
The thing was, he did get really jacked at one point, and then he kind of stopped working, but he still maintained like
that
his
mass.
muscle mass. Yeah, so he's just like a thick guy,
The muscle's still there, just over that layer.
Yeah, he's more like gorilla like now, kind of like I'm trying to think of the wrestler, but I can't think of his name.
From like
it's like thick, like rib cage. Like, he'll crush you, and I'm like, him alone, I would, as an attacker, I wouldn't want him beating me up. Yeah.
Actually, when it comes to working out, that's like I just stopped caring about being cut. I just care. I told my wife I'm trying to get into like bear mode. Just get like.
It's like a lot of
big.
deadlifts. And...
Just get big. I don't care about definition anymore. 6-packs are nice, but she's telling me she doesn't really care. It's like, oh, you don't care about 6-packs? She's like, I don't care. It's like, all right, then I'm gonna stop killing myself trying to.
Yeah, straight to dad bod, like muscle dad.
No, like just I don't care about the definition. I care about strength and like staying strong and not having any back problems. So a lot of deadlifts, a lot of squats.
Yeah.
A lot of like big compound movements, but that's a weird segue. But what's a weird narrative that I disagree with completely, and you would think I would agree with this. People are like, oh, like what's happening now? Like comedians getting attacked on stage, and I'm like, that's nothing new. Like that is a common occurrence. That's just now is being recorded. Like now people are just. Now it's just newsworthy. In the past, it wasn't newsworthy. Like, okay, a comedian gets slapped on stage, but now it's like a trend. So it's like, okay, the trend is comedians getting slapped or tackled or whatever. Now, let's talk about that now. But it's not something that do I agree with it or condone that kind of violence. No, like as an artist, I would hate going to an art show, which I actually had one recently, a group show in Atlanta. Highlands Arts Council had one like a week and a half ago.
Nice.
But I would feel kind of weird, like I'm going to an a show with my artwork and someone tackles me. It's like, because they don't like it or are offended by my artwork. Like I'll be kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Or like cause damage to your artwork.
I mean I could just pay a fine. It's like, I'll just sue you and for the money for the payment, but. That like damaging me as a person, like physically, like like it's different. Like, but as a comedian, you are, I guess, your words are your art or is your craft. So, yeah, if you're hurt in any way, you can't perform. You can't, do your craft. So, it's a really bizarre thing. But I do think people are just comfortable, just like. Hating other people. It could be a pandy thing, a post-pandy side effect of people just like not knowing how to interact anymore.
It could be. Yeah, I think so.
Post-pandy.
Yeah. I just think there's these people that like that guy. I looked at him when he was sitting there with his arm all twisted, and he just looked like one of those people that like would do something crazy for attention. Like
a Jussie Smollett kind of thing.
Yeah, someone like that. And he just struck me like one of those people. Like he just needs attention. And the one thing, another thing that was weird to me is how did that person get their phone in to record Dave Chapelle? Because I know he has like a strict no cell phone policy thing.
Yeah, there's like a handful of how do you say recordings, like phone recordings. But the one recording I saw, I thought it was the camera that they had for the show for them for. I think the footage I saw was pretty good. Actually, it was pretty good footage. So I think they actually had a camera guy there for their own, I guess, records of sorts. But
okay.
But I did notice there's a handful of like phone recordings. But I don't know if people just snuck by. I don't know. People are sneaky.
Yeah, and one thing that was impressive too, the guy tackled him, and he didn't necessarily get him down. But he did eventually hit the ground after, like I guess from like kind of like scooting
like stumbling back. Yeah.
But he did do like the correct stand up.
Technique. Dave Chappelle knows how to stand up correctly for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, it's kind of dark, but you see him. He stood up correctly.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like turn. He kind of did butt scoot. He did it right.
Hey, he's got good technique.
I think doesn't he do jiu-jitsu or has done it at one point?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know. Who did I just find out was training?
Keanu Reeves, Henry Cavill, or Cavill. I don't know. I know Tom Hardy does. I know it's the two Saved by the Bell guys, Zach Morris and AC Slater. I forgot their real names though. But those two actors do jiu-jitsu too. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is very common. I won't say common, but a lot.
What's his name?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
He slimmed down a bit. Good for him.
Yeah, I think that was actually during the time he was training.
Yeah, I think if you're a person, a public, public person, public figure, you gotta learn to. I'm not saying you need to be like an MMA fighter, but you gotta learn how to defend yourself, keep yourself safe.
Yeah, and just the mental effect it has on you when you train, I think it's like invaluable. You know, to like being in a position like that where you have a lot of stress, and you know, it's just.
Oh yeah, and the therapeutic part of it too.
Yeah.
Like after we had I ran a Wednesday no-gi class without the uniform. And a few guys came, and I just said, "Hey, I really don't feel like teaching anything. Do you just want to do like 4-minute rounds for the next hour?" And that's all we did. We did 4 minutes, like a 30-minute break, 4 minutes for an hour. I don't know how many rounds that is, but it was well worth it. I really enjoyed it. But I mean, you told me off camera that you're gonna get back into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So yeah, to discuss that a little bit, I was debating. I was like, should I go back? To my old school, which I really do want to. The only thing is, I also want to do Muay Thai.
Yeah, fun. Yeah. If you want to get jacked, if you want to get like lean, like what was that one rapper, Wiz Khalifa? Like look at a before and after picture of Wiz Khalifa before Muay Thai and after. Mm-hmm. He got pretty diesel. Yeah. Yeah,
and I wanted to do that, and like. I was like, damn, but I do want to go back to my school for the jiu-jitsu. And then I'm like, damn, am I going to be like shelling out $300 a month? You know, like
it adds
for
up.
martial arts. Yeah, if you do both.
Up.
Because I want to go to like a specific like Muay Thai place for that. Because my jiu-jitsu school also has MMA kickboxing, which is great to offer that. And I'm sure they're good. Like there's MMA fighters that go to my gym. So it's like, you know, some people that have won titles in other organizations, things like that. But I wanted specifically Muay Thai. And I know a school around this area that's good. My friend used to teach at it.
Is it in Fairlawn?
No, it's in Lyndhurst.
Okay, because my friend Augie Matias, he has MK Muay Thai in Fairlawn.
Nice.
It's pretty good. He has a bunch of good fighters, and one UFC fighter currently now. So that's a legit place. I tried it for 2 years, and then, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm not planning on fighting, so I think I know enough Muay Thai. But once in a while, hit mitts, you know, or hit a bag, visit a friend's place and hit a bag. But I'm not gonna get into fighting. But I know enough to not get punched.
Yeah, that's like something I miss too, because I used to do martial arts before I did jiu-jitsu. Of course, there was like a huge break where I was doing music, so I didn't do any martial arts during that time. But you know, just having your jab, you know, like. Yeah, sound and like not hitting, you know, hitting stuff. And but then I'm like, damn, if I'm doing jiu-jitsu, doing Muay Thai, spending all this money on training, like I'm not training to be a fighter, you know?
Yeah, like
then it kind of holds you back because it's like I'm spending all this money. What am I gonna do with these skills? Like you want to train and you want to compete, you know? That's just a natural progression, you know. So it's like, what do I want to do? And that's where I'm at right now. So I don't know if I'm gonna do the Muay Thai but I'm doing one of them.
I think the two main things that pulls people back is money or lack thereof and time. I remember I told one guy before a jiu-jitsu lesson, I said, I wish I could just press pause and almost like, you know, Goku, like the Dragon Ball Z, where they go into that pod and they can like stay in there for like a day, but inside the pod is like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. Where I wish you could just do that, where you could just pause time and you can just train for like a year, but like in the outside world, it's actually more like, you know, a day, something like that. I wish you could do something like that, but that's not a thing in this dimension.
I'd put a piano in that pod.
It just
play piano for 10 years.
You just go in there for a day, you come back, and it's like you're like 20 years older and just jacked and like roided up and.
Yeah, and I got one of those like headband things around.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's not fair, but yeah, I do encourage everyone to do some, not necessarily jiu-jitsu, but something, some sort of I call it physical therapy. You need some sort of physical therapy. Yeah. But not PT like physical therapy. I mean like you do something physical that helps you therapeutically. Whatever. I don't know. It's words. You get what I'm trying to say. It. You know, i.e. our podcast name.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But actually, speaking of the gym, I walked My current gym to work out in is closed because they were repairing a bunch of things. But I remember I walked in, or about to walk in, and you ever see someone walk out as you sort of walk towards them or walk in? So there's one lady, and there's like a vestibule, which is like 2 doors and that space in between, and she just punts the glass door and it just doesn't shatter it, but it cracks like almost like a spider web.
Oh my god!
And she just walks out, and I walk in, and I just see people with their video cameras up, and I'm like, did that just happen? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what? Why did she kick the door? She's like, oh, like the locker room was not available or something like that. It was like the locker room wasn't available for her to use the bathroom or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I mean, all the locker rooms? Like, yeah, and the men. I'm like, where can I change? And like, oh, you could just go to the tanning booth. I'm like, all right, like the tanning room. I was like, that woman needs help like that.
She probably didn't want to get into her car all like with swamp ass and shit like that.
I don't know, maybe. She didn't look like she worked out at all. I think went in.
I have a very specific image in my head right now.
Yeah, and she walked in. It seemed like she walked in. She like asked to like change, and it said we don't have a locker room.
Oh, she didn't even work out.
She just walked out.
Oh my god.
No, they told me the same thing. I was like, oh, where can I change? Like, oh, just go to the tanning booth, or not tanning booth, but it's like a little mini room with a tanning booth in it, and you could just change in there. It was a very wasn't as interesting as I thought it was in my head.
That kick was her workout right there.
Oh yeah, it was a good kick. It was a solid push kick. More like a teep kick, kind of like the Ayrton Silva against Vitor Belfort kind of kick.
That's exactly how I pictured it.
It looked a lot like that. But hopefully she found Jesus or something. I don't know. It was very. And then since then I've just been going to another gym because it temporarily closed down for repairs or whatever. I think it's more than just doors that was broken, but I haven't honestly. And last but not least, I don't know how much time we have left, but Depp versus Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Yeah, we'll talk about the trial that we alluded to before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like saying the word crazy because it's very dismissive to call someone crazy, but I do think that Amber Heard needs help. I think she just
absolutely.
I don't know. I just think. I mean, she's dated. I mean, again, I'm not bashing dating a bunch of people, but she's dated a lot of guys. I think, including Elon Musk, and they all like said, "Nope, I'm out."
Yeah. And
I do think she caused Johnny Depp to lose a lot of opportunities. Like I don't say his career is over, but like, yeah, like she really like her op-ed, which she admitted to writing. I do think it hurt his career significantly enough to get like some sort of compensation. But she's like she's countersuing for like he's suing her for $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
She's countersuing for $100.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how she wins that.
How?
Yeah, because she already won the what do you call it?
The one in the UK.
And she won something like $8 million or $7 million. And supposedly, I'm finding out that she said she was going to donate a portion of it.
That was the agreement that he wasn't going to give it to her directly. He was going to donate in her name. And she didn't like that.
Yeah, and then she got the money and she was going to donate some. And then even what she said she was going to donate, she never did like a 10%.
Yeah, like a fraction of it.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's so much crazy things happening with that. And like you said, you don't want to use the word crazy, but it's just like when you hear it.
It is crazy. Like, I don't want to call her crazy.
Yeah.
But like you definitely need help.
Like my parents are asking me like about the details that they found out and stuff. And then I'm like, just some of the things they ask.
It's absurd.
It's just like, like because of this trial, now my parents have said this sentence to me in my life.
Yeah.
It's like, I almost made it out without hearing that.
It like, I don't know, like the whole like crap in the bed, pooping, and they call her Amber Turd. And another thing is, she's as we speak, she's currently on on the stand, and they're people are finding legit like word for word verbatim quotes from movies that she's just spouting out. Like oh, that's from like like is it Mystic Pizza? I don't know. There's like several movies that she has quoted, recent and far like past, like the whole chopping my hand off before I ever lay my hand on you ever again. Yeah. Like things like that. Like it just sounds very scripted and it seems performative. And I'm not. I mean, I just think, just say sorry. Like, give him his money. Say sorry and get help, please. You know, like.
Yeah. It's
just very. It's honestly disheartening because I legit really like the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I really like the Jack Sparrow character. It seemed like it seems like a fun film for him to do.
Yeah, I heard he has a movie though, right?
I mean, I don't know.
I think he might have a current film.
I hope so.
Or maybe it was one of those like, like fake advertisements. It's like Johnny Depp's next movie or whatever. Maybe,
but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's very bizarre because one, like, how healthy is your relationship that you're recording each other all the time?
Yeah,
that's bizarre.
I wouldn't stand for that.
But imagine every time you have a serious conversation with your, your fiance, she's like, okay, hold on one second, and she starts recording you, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, put that down. No, go ahead, say what you're gonna say. Like, put that away. Like, even if my wife did that to me now, even her not being malicious, I'll still be like, but why are you recording me? Like, what is this?
Yeah,
I would feel very like put off by it, and like I feel weird about it. Like, that's just bizarre. Why are you recording? And it's also, she actually, that one time when she played a video, or the camera or the phone rather, put it down and just started asking him questions about like, how was your day? And he's obviously upset for something, and I don't know if someone passed away or he some sort of movie opportunity. He was just kind of slamming like a pantry, or she's kind of nagging him on, like asking him random questions, and it's like, as a spouse, shouldn't you be like not recording this situation and just being supportive? I don't know, like.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy how it's coming out, like how it is, like it's just being so like public and sensationalized and everything. And what's so funny, like one of my favorite scenes of Johnny Depp is in a courtroom when he's in the movie Blow.
That's great.
Yeah,
he's great. Him and Penelope Cruz have chemistry.
One of his best roles ever.
I think so too.
Yeah, and now it's like seeing him on the stand again. It just, you ever seen that? You know that meme when the guy with like the blonde hair and he looks back and he's just like shaking his head.
Oh, yeah, the old like woodsman.
Yeah, the woodsman. And I just see sometimes him answering and doing things, and you just can't help but feel.
What I love is that John, if he's acting, which he probably is, they're probably just both acting, to be honest. But like he's like a minimalist actor, because he's obviously acting as well, or he was on stand. Like, as in, like, even, I mean, I won't say we're acting now, but we're aware there's a camera there, and there's a camera there, and there's a mic here. So we are kind of speaking into the mic to make a podcast. So I think he's very much aware that he's being recorded. So I do think his speech and cadence was very calculated as well. I just think he's a better actor.
Yeah. Oh, by a mile. Yeah.
Mile, like, of several miles. Yeah. He has he's just such a minimalist. They asked him a question. He's like, yes. That's true. Yes. It was very, and then she's on the stand and she's just kind of like very, I don't know, not energetic, but very just almost like, I don't know. It's like she's acting upset.
Yeah. Yeah, the funniest thing that came out of this for me that made me like really enjoy it.
There's a lot of funny things.
Is when the Amber Heard's lawyer objected his own question.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
That really put it over the edge.
Excuse
for me.
me.
Now we have something.
Hearsay. Oh, and it's, like, it's your question. It's like, never mind. So pretty much, to give context, so Amber Heard, I think she had like 3 different lawyers, but he was asking one of Johnny Depp's, I guess, witnesses, and I think it was like not the bartender, the
bodyguard.
No, is a barber. No, like an Alfred. Who was it?
Butler.
Butler. There you go. Like an Alfred. I can't find words today, but he was asking him questions, and then the lawyer asked him a question, and he answered it, and he answered it as in a hearsay way, like I heard this, or I heard him tell me this or that. And because he was so used to saying that, I think he just said, Your Honor, what is it called again? I object, hearsay. And the judge is like, what the hell? What is wrong with you? Like, it's your, and then I think she legit said, it's your question, like that. And he's like, oh, never mind. But yeah, the Heard lawyers are ridiculous. It was just very, I don't know. The same lawyer would just ask the witnesses like just reading like headlines of like different articles and essays and tabloids, and they'll just ask, did I read that correctly? And they'll be like, yeah. And they'll name another tabloid article and like, did I read that correctly? And they're like, yeah. Like, but like, what's the point of you reading out articles asking me if you read it correctly? Like, that doesn't prove anything other than we can both read, and comprehend like word, like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't like prove anything, you know.
Yeah, and he like kept asking the same thing over, like if he had signed the document, and it was like the 6th time. Like, it was like weird things that he was doing like that.
It was very it's very bizarre. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, if this is what it takes to be a lawyer, like, sign me up. Like, I can, like, I don't know. He's doing lawyers. And then actually I've been watching, I don't know the name of it, so I can't give credit, but pretty much it's like 3 or 4 people that are lawyers watching it live on a live stream. And they'll kind of narrate like why they're objecting, or, you know, to kind of like
trial companion.
I don't know. I guess it's called that, but
no.
But I saw like some highlights to them, and then they kind of broke it down like, oh, he's saying hearsay because of this, that doesn't make any sense, you know, this doesn't, you know, they kind of explain it for people that aren't aware or don't know how it works, like why they're taking a break, etc. But like, these are like hours and hours long. Like, each day is like 7 hours or 8 hours.
Yep.
I can never do that. I can't do this for more than 2 hours. Like, imagine.
Yeah, we got the first episode back, and thank you guys for joining us.
Episode 29.
Yeah, number 29. The next time you see us, there will be another 0 at the end of that, and it'll be another milestone.
290.
Episode 30 coming up after this. Guys, please leave us a comment, subscribe. Also, I wanted to say, I didn't even speak to David about this yet, but I'm sure he'll be on board. Send us any video submissions you have of things you want us to talk about, like a question. Like, you can literally ask us a question, and we'll basically respond ask us anything about ourselves, about what we think about something, and we'll throw you up in the podcast, you know, like a nice little shout out.
I'll try. I don't know if you guys care about our POV, but if you do, go free.
Ask us anything. If you've been on this journey with us, you know, send us a video. You know, you can ask us about anything, the podcast, our personal lives. I mean, you know, some things we can't divulge, but you know, I'll have to review the questions. Like, is that okay? Is that okay? Can I say that? Like, I do that now. Actually, I'm like, can I talk about this? Like, do not talk about that. But yeah, just please comment, subscribe, and you know, hit the notification bell, stuff.
Get married in the comments.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Jose Rodriguez. My co-host
David Diokendo.
We are WordsrTough.